What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? We are back for the Masked Singer Group A. Now, listen, I like Group A better than Group B because I actually knew, or at least I think I know who some of these people are. Or I at least got some good guesses. That Group B, I don't know who none of them people are. So, um, all right. So they had this whole little thing. I feel like they was stretching for time. They had this thing. What's his name? John McHale, that comedian. He did a whole Robin Six thing. Da 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 da. Yeah. Cool. So Group A, we have Popcorn, Giraffe, um, the Snow Owls, the Sun. Yeah. Okay. So we started off with Popcorn, and my guess the first week, I think my guess the first week was Cyndi Lauper. It's still Cyndi Lauper. This week we had a couple of more clues. 80s. We saw the gay pride flag. You know, she is a strong advocate for the LGBTQ community. We know that, you know, the 80s was her bread and butter. We saw a crimp machine. Cyndi Lauper in the 80s with a crimp machine. Exactly. And she talked about being very shy, and she talked about having so shy. I think she said something about her hair falling out. And if you remember, well, I remember because I'm old enough to remember when Cyndi Lauper, the girls just want to have fun. Cyndi Lauper, she talked about her hair falling out, and her hair being thin and stuff like that. She talked about those things. So, and she's saying falling from Harry Styles. It's Cyndi Lauper. That's my final answer. If I had to do a backup to that, which I don't want to because I'm pretty certain it's Cyndi Lauper, I would say Tiffany. Because again, we still have the 80s, the crimp machine. She said that she started in the business at an early age. So but listen, Cyndi Lauper, my final answer. Then we had the Giraffe. Now, I wasn't sure about Giraffe because the first week the Giraffe rapped. The second week the Giraffe is singing. He's singing Cool in the Gang, Get Down on It, right? I remember last week I said I thought it might have been an athlete or something like that. Now I'm not so sure. We saw something about being very sick, even to the point where didn't tell anybody about it. Only his family knew that he battled through something very debilitating, like physically, a physical situation. And I was like, I don't know. So by the time it was over with, they had me convinced that it was Travis Barker from Blink 82. But some of the other guesses were oh shoot, the guy Jason Priestley from 90210. They said he was in a really bad car accident. And it was somebody else who him and his family had been in a plane crash. And then it was somebody who drives for NASCAR, the number 8. But I was with Blink 182 because they convinced me. They had some really good connections to the clues and all of that. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And I was kind of leaning to the Travis Barker the first week. I just wasn't 100% sure, but I was leaning on it. Okay, so then we had the Snow Owls, and they sang Like I'm Gonna Lose You by Megan Trainor and John Legend. Listen, I'm still with my first guess. My first guess is Donnie and Marie Osmond. Now listen, let's look at these clues. The first clue was they were talking about how close they are, and how Donnie the guy had a really bad breakup, and how she stuck by him even at the risk of backlash from their community. You know, the Osmonds are big Mormons, I believe. You know, they're very big in the Mormon church. And, you know, divorce is just that's very frowned upon in the Mormon church. And so there would have been backlash from that. Also, the guy dropped a D while they were doing it. They showed a D, and I was like, for Donnie. Then they said something about how he supported her in making a life-changing decision, something she was nervous about doing. Now, I was thinking that and it said something about working with a queen or something to that effect. Now, we know now that Marie Osmond has left the talk. But when they were filming this, she was probably still on the show. And I was like, well, maybe that's in connection to her deciding to do the show The Talk. Or becoming a spokesperson. You know, she's been a spokesperson for Nutrisystem. Now, at first I was thinking Jenny Craig, and that would have been the connection to the queen of weight loss. But it wasn't Jenny Craig. It was Nutrisystem. But I still think it's the Osmonds. Now, my close second. Y'all put it in my comments last week. I did a little research. I read up on these two, Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks. That's my second. Now, they sang the song this week with a little country twang. I think they did that on purpose. But then at the end, they were saying how they're they're assuming that we're a couple. Why can't we be? Do we have to be a couple? Is what they were saying. So I think it's Donnie Marie Osmond. That's my 2 cents. Okay. Then we had The Sun. The Sun sang Praying by Kesha. Now, my guess the first week was Christina Aguilera. That's still my first guess. However, Demi Lovato. I could put a Demi Lovato. Now, they came up with a couple of really, really good guesses. Catherine McPhee and who was it? It was somebody else. Because some of the guesses this week were, because remember they had the whole Disney thing the first week, which made me think it was a Disney star, which is where I got the Christina Aguilera from. She was saying how she started young, and then she said something about she's sort of reconnecting with childhood passions or something like that, right? So those are my guesses, okay? Those are my guesses. Those are my reasons for my guesses. Y'all are free to drop down in the comments and tell me how wrong I am. It's okay. Y'all actually come up with some really good suggestions that make me think, like the Trisha Yearwood, Garth Brooks suggestion. They're actually one of my guesses. But the person that got voted off this week was Giraffe. Now, listen, let me be clear. I thought the Giraffe was black. I just knew it was going to be one of the athletes, because we know it's an Olympian and it's this and it's that. I thought it was going to be one of these athletes. Baby, it was Brian Austin Green. Now, what was funny was they had made the connection to the Transformers and Megan Fox, which of course is Brian Austin Green's ex-wife. But they went in a different direction and talked about, you know who I'm talking about, the boy that stars in, oh shoot. He was in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Shia LaBeouf. But, so he was like, I thought y'all had figured it out when y'all got to, and I was thinking an Atlanta rapper or somebody from Atlanta, because they kept showing all these peaches. The Peach Pit from Beverly Hills 90210. Now, here's what's funny, which I didn't know this. Brian Austin Green and Robin Thicke were best friends. They had a group together and everything in high school, and they were literally best friends. They grew up together. And Robin Thicke was like, oh my gosh, she said, I should have known, like, from your mannerisms and everything, I should have known it was you. And it was cool. It was really cool, because Brian Austin Green was like, I fooled you. Like, I was able to fool you. And you would think when he was singing that he would recognize Child. And the fact that he rapped the first week and then sang the second week, I was like, okay, you throwing it off. You throwing this off. And he actually sounded pretty decent, y'all. He had a little flow with him. He got a little flow with him. So anyway, that's what it is. Now, I don't know why they went back to Group A. I don't know why we're not doing a full rotation and then coming back to Group A, but whatever. So we've eliminated 2 people from Group A, 1 person from Group B. Well, they kind of self-eliminated themselves. So I guess this week we might go to Group C. I'm not sure. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.